WWE Raw review for the January 12th episode of Raw. I'm Will. Brandon's sick today. I am the cousin of Destruction Wrestling podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling, huh? Good episode of Raw tonight. It was in Germany, which means it was on early, but it's a Monday. I had to work, so we caught it later in the day. Thank you guys for stopping by the live stream tonight who did. YouTube.com/@CodWrestlePod. It was a lot of fun, even though I was late to the game, but it is what it is. Brandon, sick today. He's not going to be able to be here, so we're going to carry this thing by ourselves, but let's get into it because Raw was actually pretty stacked tonight in Germany because we had Rhea and Io start the show. Obviously, they won the tag team championships last week on the Raw Netflix year big thing that they did. And Rhea came out and they said that they battled the Kabuki Warriors and they have beaten the Kabuki Warriors. And Io followed it up and said that they beat the respect into them and that no one is ready for Rio. And that's when Rhea basically said, hey, we're open to challenge anybody though. You know, we're going to be fighting champs. And that's when Liv and Roxanne come out. And Liv says that she just wants to congratulate them. Obviously, she gave a little wave to Rhea because of their past feuds and stuff. And Liv said that, look, she never lost that title. That title still belongs to her. So there's either two ways they can do this. Either Rio can just hand her the title back or they can square up, right? Well, when she said that, Bayley and Lyra come out. They haven't won a lot lately, but they're still cool. They come out, and Bayley says that basically she pointed out that Roxanne's been losing to Lyra and Bayley, you know, within the past few months a bunch of times. So, you know, by that, right, they get the next shot at the tag titles. Didn't make a lot of sense from the point of Bayley and Lyra winning tag belts, but they all get in there and they all start arguing. Well, all of a sudden the Kabuki Warriors are there and they rip the feet out of Rhea and Io. They rip them out of the ring by their feet to the outside. They stomp on them a bit. They get in the ring. They make a fight. Big fight ensues. Oh my God, it's all happening. The Kabuki Warriors kind of get the advantage on it. And then Rhea and Io, they get their stamina back. They come in there and they beat the hell out of the Kabuki Warriors and they end up standing tall at the very end of it. And then we get confirmation that later in the night, we're going to get a number one contender tag team match. It'll be a triple threat tag match. Number one contender. It'll be the Kabuki Warriors versus Liv and Roxanne versus Bayley and Lyra. And this was a damn good way to open up your Monday Night Raw. I mean, what are you going to say about this? This is going to be a freaking pop if I can get my freaking pin to work. So it is going to be a pop to start Raw. I mean, not much to say here. It wasn't like anybody did fantastic work, but putting Liv and Roxanne back into the tag title scene, I mean, it feels like we say this every few weeks. It's like a new tag team approaches the women's tag team division, and it's like, this division is as stacked as it gets. It literally has 90% of the biggest names in all of the WWE women's division within it. You have your Charlotte and Alexa. You have Liv and Roxanne now, Lyra, Bayley. You have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky in there, not to mention Lash and Nia. You just have so much going on there. It's Kabuki Warriors. This is the deepest division in all of professional wrestling at this point. It's fantastic. And when Liv and Roxanne came out, and Liv did mention that she never lost that belt, like, you kind of were like, yeah, well, she's right. Revenge Tour 2.0, but tag team championship style. I'm down for that. And, setting up a big match like that for later in the night with all those stars in it. It's like, yep, that's what I love about wrestling. Let's get to it. Then we cut back, though, and AJ Styles is talking to Jackie Redman, and she was like, hey, why is this feud with Gunther so personal? And he basically said, it's all about respect. You can't have Gunther walking around here being disrespectful to the people who paved the way for all of them, including, of course, Mr. John Cena. But then he vows that tonight, when he takes on Gunther in the main event, he won't just beat Gunther. He gonna make him tap out. Big words for AJ Styles, bro. Big words. Then we moved on to WWE 2K26, the video game. We're looking at it, and then we pan back, and it's Finn Balor, and he's playing as Finn. He's playing as himself, beating up Cody Rhodes. He's just playing in the Judgment Day clubhouse by himself because all of his buddies are hurt. And Liv and Roxanne walk back there, and they're excited about making a statement and getting the number one contender tag team match later in the night. And then Liv looks at Finn and is like, the hell are you doing? Like a couple weeks ago, you were on when they interviewed him, and that you were like, you had big things planned for the Judgment Day, and you were going to take up the mantle for Dom and JD, but you're sitting here playing freaking video games. What are you doing? Go get a shot. Go take a shot. Stop playing games. And even Roxanne looked at him and was like, you got a point, bro. You should probably go do that. And Finn, then as they walked away, it was like, just wait. You just wait and see. So more on that later. We would get our first match of the night. It was Javon versus Bravo Americano. and I am going to give this just an initial drop. Hear me out. I'm going to give it a drop because I love Javon, and I don't think this is where I want him right now. We can talk about something that happened later in the night later, but like the whole Javon in the El Grande Americano shenanigans thing, I'm a little bit out on that right now. I'm just a little bit out on the whole thing. Javon is a star, and we need him doing bigger things quicker. And I get that, Dom's hurt, the IC scene's hurt, and he did do a little bit of stuff in the tag division for a little bit, but I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. That's about all my take on that. But he was facing Rio. I don't know what it is. The name Ria. One of the El Grande brothers, and he would and then the Grandes would distract early, right? So the Grandes, all of them are on the outside. So that's what the match became, right? They distracted. Can Javon overcome this? And of course he could overcome it because he's freaking Javon Evans. He comes out with a big comeback and gets a suicide dive in. He hits a Spanish fly with him off the top rope and then hits the OG cutter. Gets the 1, 2, 3 and the win. But really the takeaway here was afterward when the Grandes tried to beat him up. And El Grande Americano tossed him over the announce table. And they were like, oh, we finally got him now. And then all of a sudden we pan up and Javon's standing on the barricade behind the announce table. And when they sick him, he jumps over all of them because that boy bouncy and then he runs away. So Javon's able to run away. I'm not going to add a drop to this. It wasn't like the match was anything too special. They're both athletic, so there was the moments, but I also don't think that the match was anything special enough to even get a pop. I'm just going to give the whole thing a down from my thing earlier. Let's move on with this for Javon. He needs bigger and better things. The Grande shtick is a little bit funny, but it just isn't working for me, that whole story right now. So I'm not going to dwell on it. Let's move it on because Adam Pearce was pissed tonight. Absolutely mad. He's pissed about Braun Breaker and the Vision causing all the problems, right? And most importantly, Braun Breaker. And he wants to talk to Paul Heyman. They meet in the back, and he said he's not in the mood to tolerate it. And Paul Heyman basically said, hey, I don't think he's going to show up, but if he shows up, I'll handle it. But that's a big if he shows up. So Pierce mad at Braun Breaker, Paul trying to stop it. That's where we're at with it. And then something good happens here. CM Punk comes out to the freaking ring. And he's ready. He says that he'll never be tired of being champion. And if everything goes to his plan, he'll be champion forever. But anything can happen. Just ask Cody Rhodes. A little bit of shade to my boy Cody, losing the title on Friday Night SmackDown. He says, I want to be champ going into Mania, but it may not happen because there still is the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber on the way there, which means there's probably 2 opportunities for me to lose that title. But it means that 2 new opportunities should arrive because I am past the Vision, and that's when Finn Balor comes out. I was feeling it here. I was very excited about this because Finn comes out and he said he's not waiting for the Rumble or Chamber. He's taking Liv's advice. He's grabbing his opportunity by the balls, basically. And he says, I don't need to get in line or work my way up the line because I am the line if you've been watching my career. And then he mentioned how when Punk won the title, Punk kind of went on this monologue about all the people he wants to fight. And he mentioned Finn Balor's name in it. And Punk says, well, that was 2 months ago when I was saying that. Where has your ambition been since then? All you've been doing is running around with J-Day, acting like a bunch of lackeys, and even playing video games. What are you talking about? You don't really deserve this. And he goes, and even if I do give you a title shot, will I be wrestling Finn Balor, the man I respect, the man that should be feared, or am I wrestling Finn and Friends? Is the Judgment Day going to be there? And then they kind of go back and forth for a minute, but then Punk kind of gets fired up and starts saying, you know what, screw it, I'll fight you here tonight. I'll fight you in Dusseldorf, Germany, and everybody's going crazy. That crowd loved CM Punk, by the way, which was kind of crazy. And Finn said, no, look, no, I'm not doing this. He says, timing is everything. I'm here to seize my opportunity, but I'm not dumb. And I realize that over your career, you've used the home field advantage of Chicago as a crutch throughout your title opportunities in your career. Guess what? Ireland is where we are next Monday night. I want you there. And then Punk goes on a monologue again about how he's going to beat him up in Ireland in front of everybody there as well. And he's going to disappoint, in him, meaning Finn Balor, is going to disappoint the Germany crowd tonight for not fighting Punk. And then he's going to disappoint the Ireland crowd next week for not beating CM Punk. So freaking, man, it's crazy though. We know what's next for CM Punk though now. It will be Finn Balor versus CM Punk next week, Monday Night Raw in Ireland. And I cannot wait for this. Definitely a pop, 100% a freaking pop. So that's another pop to the board. This is exactly what we want. This is exactly what we wanted a couple weeks ago when Finn Balor was cutting up a promo with Byron Saxton, and he was saying that he was going to put the Judgment Day on his back and carry it while Dom and JD are hurt. And then the internet took over, and we all did our things, and we were like, that's the Finn Balor we want to see. WWE, Dom's hurt, JD's hurt. Please put the man into a serious situation because it's right there for the taking. And now we're moving on, and all of a sudden we're in Ireland next week, and it's like WWE taking it by the balls as well. It's like, yeah, they're right. Let's just freaking put Finn Balor into a title opportunity against CM Punk. Going to be fantastic. Look, he's probably not going to win the thing. He probably shouldn't win the thing. I'm going to be begging for him too, because I want to see Finn Balor back to being Finn Balor, and I don't think it would hurt to do a crazy title change, and then maybe Punk gets it back at Royal Rumble or Saturday Night Main Event. So I'll book the craziness, or you can book the craziness and fantasy book it out the wazoo to see if a Finn Balor championship run fits. But like, if anything here, just get Finn Balor back into relevancy, right? Make him look really good in the match. Give him back his freaking theme song, because the theme song that he has right now is absolutely awful. Let's get the Prince back. He even said that. It'll be the Prince for CM Punk in Ireland next week. So just give Finn Balor a great performance. If you want to give him the title, I'm not gonna hate it. But I just can't wait, man. That match is gonna be absolutely fantastic. And what we saw here tonight on Raw was good too. We'll move it on though, because then we would get our number one contenders match. Triple threat tag team match. Kabuki Warriors versus Liv and Roxanne versus Lyra and Bailey. This is obviously hard to cover, all right? Because there's freaking 3 tag teams and shenanigans happens like crazy in terms of like, hell's breaking loose. Are the rules applying? Are the rules not applying here? What the hell is happening here? Kyrie started the match hot right away when everybody spilled out. She hit an insane elbow to everybody who wasn't named Asuka, which is really nice. Liv and Rox did like one of those where Lyra and Bailey are about to superplex Kyrie Sane off the top rope. Then Liv and Roxanne went over there and they performed the superplex on all of them. That was really cool. Kabuki Warriors ended up hitting their like Kabuki special on Lyra. And it was a little bit awkward because Kyrie went for the pin, and you could tell that the spot was for somebody to come and break the pin, but the ref refused to count because they didn't make a proper tag, which I'm not going to lie, I kind of like that because I like when the refs remember the rules. I'm old school like that. So it was kind of cool to see the ref be like, no, doesn't count. She's not legal. So that was kind of a funny thing to see. But then the end spot happens, right? So Lyra and Bailey, they hit like their team special where Lyra bends somebody over her knee and then Bailey hits her elbow drop. She hits that. Pop rocks on somebody from Roxanne Perez. Hell is breaking loose, going crazy. All of a sudden, Kyrie throws Roxanne out of the ring. Well, that leaves just Kyrie in the ring. So you think. All of a sudden, Liv Morgan runs over there, hits her with the Oblivion, gets the 1, gets the 2, and gets the freaking 3. The new number 1 contenders for the tag team championships are Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan. That match will take place at Saturday Night Main Event versus Rhea and Io. Cannot wait for that. Going to go ahead, give that a super duper pop because the match was actually really, really good. And the people involved in it, I mean, come on now, it's going to be awesome. In terms of the match, though, it's just, I was very surprised that they went ahead and did this. I didn't know that Liv and Rox were going to aim at the tag team division. It just feels like that division is so freaking deep right now that Liv wasn't going to really fit in there. Plus, everybody thinks that Liv's going to go after that world championship with it whenever the Raquel and Stephanie Vercare stuff gets done with. But seeing them tonight, she fit in perfectly. Her reasoning is the exact same reasoning as her revenge tour on the world title, right? It was the title she never lost. She never lost a tag team title. She got injured. And then Raquel and Roxanne had to take over for her in her tag title stay. And now she wants that back. So it's like sort of the same story here, but her and Roxanne are a great tag team. Now you have Liv and Rhea back into a little bit of a storyline with each other, but also surrounded by Roxanne and Io, which is really, really good. And then you do have the Stephanie stuff, or the Steph and Raquel stuff going on in the world title scene with the Judgment Day. And now you have Finn Balor going after a world championship. So it just feels like a lot's happening for the Judgment Day. It feels like Liv was really the spark to get that group that a lot of people were sitting here going like, ooh, is it time to end it? Now they kind of feel really, really relevant again. You have two of them in the world title scene, and then Liv and Rox in the tag team title scene. It just feels like Judgment Day is cooking. Liv is the spark. I think Liv and Roxanne are a fantastic tag team, and their match against Rhea and Io at Saturday Night Main Event is going to be absolutely fantastic. You get Liv and Rhea back into some sort of story with each other. Gonna be gold. We're looking forward to it, okay? We'll move on, though. Becky Lynch has a vignette. She's not there tonight, but she won the IC title back from Maxine Dupree last week. And she says that she won fair and square. Fair and square. She didn't cheat. She said that Maxine still gets a rematch because, WWE is rigged against her, and said that Maxine never even won clean either because AJ Lee showed up to help her win. And I was sitting there like, Becky Lynch once again cooking. She ain't wrong. She ain't wrong here. But she said that she will turn lemonade out of lemons, turn lemons into lemonade. And next week, she will defeat Maxine in her home country as well, in Ireland, which is going to be very cool. Maxine did rebuttal. She basically said that she believes in herself now. She believes that she belongs in this freaking, main event scene or mid-card main event scene in the IC title division. And that next week, she won't just beat Becky Lynch. She will break Becky Lynch's ankle. Maxine Dupree, Becky Lynch. Another round for the IC title next week in Ireland on Raw. Cannot wait. Per usual, Maxine Dupree is cutting it up, even in backstage promos, man. She's getting it. I mean, people always like to point out every little mistake Maxine does in the ring, and I'm not going to sit here and defend it. I get it. She's a little bit sloppy in there, but it's not like Becky's been having the absolute best performances as well in these matches. So you have to, point fingers at both sides. But one thing that both sides is doing is good work on the mic. Yeah, Becky Lynch just being Becky Lynch, one of the greatest of all time. I'm not just saying it. SportsCenter's not just saying it. Bleacher Report's not just saying it. Everybody's saying it. She's on one side pointing out all the logic flaws, which makes sense. She won the title fair and square with cheating. But guess what? Maxine, when she won the title, she had help from AJ Lee. She cheated too. So, there's logic holes there. And then you have Maxine on the other side basically saying she belongs now. She's proven herself. And not only is she going to be kind of like a cheerful, I can do this now person, she flips the switch, man. And she just becomes like evil. And she's sitting there like, I'm going to break your freaking ankle. I'm going to break you. And I can't wait for that, man. That's great. It's great to see Maxine in this position once again. I really don't know who's going to win. I'm thinking Becky Lynch probably going to keep that title on her because I don't think we're just going to keep running Becky and Maxine over and over again. AJ Lee and Becky seems to be the thing, and I do think we may have the IC title for that. But hopefully I get shocked and Maxine does take the title, and then we do AJ versus Becky without a title because I don't think it needs one. But anyway, those are great segments here tonight. I will give them a pop. Good stuff. Also, just side note during that, Maxine hyped up Otis and Tozawa as well while she was hyping herself up. So that comes into play here in a minute. Now, Michael Cole is out on the ramp, the entrance ramp with Raquel Rodriguez now. And he basically says, like, why'd you attack Stephanie last week? And Raquel goes, yeah, you remember back when I would just like wait in line and do my thing and I would smile. Yeah, that's not me anymore. I'm here to take my moment. I'm here to seize my opportunity. You all feel sorry for Steph for some reason. Fine. I'm just going to keep coming until I'm the champion. I will defeat her. And that's when Steph shows up with a bunch of security and Raquel like kind of just laughs and she even like acts because Stephanie comes out with her boot, so she's limping. And as Raquel's laughing at her, going back to the back, she's limping. And Steph doesn't even grab a mic. She just looks right into the camera. And she says a little bit in Spanish, but then she basically goes, she goes, this will not, she basically says, what does she say? This will not stop me, and come and get it, basically is what Steph says. And the second she gets done saying come and get it, Raquel's back. I don't know why the security didn't escort her all the way to the back. So Raquel shows up, nails her in the back of the head, and then she starts slamming the boot again onto the pavement. Boom, boom, boom. And then she takes the freaking world title, picks it up over her head, and just like axe throws it at freaking Stephanie's ankle right onto the boot, which wouldn't do damage in real life, but in wrestling logic, that's big time damage. So very, very good stuff here. Raquel attacks Stephanie Vicaire once again. It's time. I'm with it. Raquel is the more interesting part of this feud. I think it's time for Raquel to win that championship. I think the combination of what's happening in the Judgment Day, where Finn is now finally going for that championship, so he's starting to get his balls back, for lack of a better term. Liv is just igniting the entire Judgment Day right now. Even Liv and Roxanne are getting title shots with the tag team titles. Now it's time for Raquel to also go after that world title. And I'm sitting here like, I don't think Finn's going to win the title from CM Punk because he's freaking CM Punk and Mania is right around the corner. Liv and Roxanne got a real shot to win those tag team titles. Still don't think they will because I think Liv will probably wrap around back to the world title scene. And when I say that, I mean she'll wrap back around to Raquel because Raquel should win that title. I love Stephanie Vicaire. She's great. I have nothing against her. She's one of one in the ring. I just think that we need to give her a little bit more time to be in the back and learn the promo stuff, get a little bit better at that. Raquel's shining right now. Come on now. Give the belt to Raquel whenever this match does end up happening. And then circle Liv around and even Roxanne. If you want to have a Judgment Day collapse, go into WrestleMania where you have Liv with her old best friend Raquel fighting for the world title with a little bit of Roxanne mixed in there and all the Judgment Day shenanigans. That's going to be more interesting of a story. I want to see that come Mania time. So I love Stephanie, but Raquel's just doing too good a work to deny her. Give her that title, man. Give her it. So this was good. I'm going to go ahead and pop that as well. It was a very good segment. And then we go backstage to the Usos, and it's just Jay, actually. He's just walking around, hyping himself up. We didn't even get a yeet tonight. He didn't come out to the crowd. Otis and Tozawa, who just got a talking from Maxine, they now want tag team title shots, and Jay's like, No. We didn't mean friends when we said anybody can get it. Like you a friend. If you fight me, we got to fight. That's not cool. And Otis is like, no, I'm being serious. And Jay's like, all right, say less. I'll talk to Big Jim, but just know if you want this, it's a warning shot. And then Tozawa goes, yeet. So looks like the next up on the plate for the Usos is going to be Otis and Tozawa. Sure. Yeah, what do you want me to say? Sure. I love Otis. I like Tozawa. Not much more to say here. I really don't have a deep plan. I would have liked for like the Creeds or something like that to maybe be your buffer feud between now and whenever you do the New Day stuff. But you know what? We haven't seen Otis and Tozawa in a while. Their girl Maxine's doing well. Why not give them a little bit of rub, right? So we'll see how that goes, basically. We'll see how that goes. Then we get Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. They're taking on Dragon Lee and Penta, obviously because of the schmoz that happened at the end of last week's Raw when the Luchadors, when Penta, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio ruined everything for Braun Breaker and his championship. This was a tale of two halves. It was a tale of one half, which is a very by-the-books vision match, right? You had Bronson Reed. He was too big for the Luchadors to beat up, but they ended up beating him up, right? And then Austin Theory's in there. Penta's dancing over Austin Theory at one point. That was some fun stuff. It is what it is. I'm actually going to give that part of the match a drop. I just don't care about that part of the Vision storyline right now. The Luchadors versus Bronson and Austin Theory and Logan Paul. I just don't care about it. So I am going to drop that portion of it. But if the Vision are involved, that means you know that bigger and better things are to come whenever the match is done, right? So Dragon Lee ends up going for a dive to Logan Paul, who's on the outside too. And he takes him out, and we're kind of just sitting there. Then all of a sudden, boom, Braun Breaker spears him out of nowhere. Of course, camera angle's perfect. Boom, Braun hits him like a freaking Mack truck, right? Gets in the ring, and he spears Penta too, I believe. Yeah, he spears Penta. Then Adam Pearce is there, but you don't see him yet. He's running down the ramp. Braun sees Dragon Lee on the outside now, and he really wants that outside spear. So Braun takes off, but Adam Pearce gets right in his face and stops him. He puts his hand on him once to stop him, and he's just berating Braun Breaker, just yelling in his face, what the hell are you doing here? Rah, 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 rah. But as he's yelling at Braun Breaker, he's lost sight of the rest of the Vision. They're pulling Penta over, and Bronson Reed hops up on the top rope, hits him with a tsunami, and obviously that makes a bunch of noise. Pierce hears that. He gets back into the ring. He's like, what the hell are you guys doing? And he starts yelling at Bronson Reed. Dragon Lee gets in the ring again to help good old Penta. Well, now he's not paying attention to Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker spears him. And this is when it gets good, because Adam Pearce walks over and puts his hands on Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed almost murders that man. He turns it around, shoves Pearce into the corner, has him by the neck. You have Paul Heyman, Logan Paul, everybody ripping him off. Braun Breaker's just yelling at his face. He's like, he's saying, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? Kiss my ass, all that good stuff. And Adam Pearce is yelling right back at his face, not backing down. They go all the way up the entrance ramp. Logan Paul is trying to calm Pearce down. Paul Heyman's trying to calm Pearce down. Logan Paul is like, He's going to kill you. We go into the back, and Pierce finally gets into Braun Breaker's face again. He says that you are suspended indefinitely. And when he walks away, Paul Heyman walks up and is like, you made a mistake. He's like, that was a big mistake. That was a big mistake tonight. And Adam Pearce like, damn right, it was a big mistake. How dare Braun Breaker? And then Paul Heyman looked at Adam Pearce and said, no, I was talking about you. You made a mistake. You put your hands on him first. Ooh. Ooh. Braun Breaker gets so freaking pissed off at Adam Pearce. He ends up choking the man. But Adam Pearce did put his hands on him first. We got a bunch of drama between management and the Vision now. Insane on Raw. I will give this an absolute pop. I thought it was great. I gave the match a drop already. So that is that. But this is so much more interesting to me than throwing the luchador stuff at the Vision. If the luchadors want to do the in-ring part of this storyline, that's fine. But Braun Breaker versus Adam Pearce, that's going to be freaking awesome. I was a little bit worried about what we're going to do with Braun Breaker after he lost to CM Punk on the Raw Netflix thing that they did last week. I was just like, oh man, the Vision gets chased off by the luchadors. Braun Breaker loses after basically putting Punk through hell. Like, how are you going to make up for this? Well, this felt more like what I want to see out of the Vision, where it's like no one can wrangle them in, right? Like not even the boss, the big boss. He couldn't come out there and get them under line or get them under control. And when he did try to get them under control, he literally got put into a corner and got choked by Braun freaking Breaker, who looked like a madman that was about to rip that guy's head off. That's an interesting story that you can tell. I still don't know where you go with that in terms of like wrestling ends up in wrestling rings, right? Wrestling matches. So what are we going to get? Braun Breaker versus Adam Pearce? I don't know if Adam Pearce is in shape and ring ready for a freaking Braun Breaker match. I don't know. I would love to see it. I love a good old fashioned GM versus talent storyline in the WWE and professional wrestling. So if that's what we end up getting, I'd be very, very, very excited for that. But Braun Breaker looked like a guy gone mad tonight. It looked like he didn't lose any steam from a loss against CM Punk last week. He's still absolutely incredible, spearing everybody, destroying everybody, not taking no for an answer. I want to make sure that Braun Breaker remains that sort of undeniable force. I was a little bit worried after last week, but we're good after this week. I felt like this was a good step in the right direction. Then we get our main event. Main event time. AJ Styles and Gunther. Gunther, before the match, he responds to AJ Styles earlier in the night saying he's going to make him tap. He's like, how dare him talk disrespectfully to the man that made John Cena tap out like a little bitch. That was always good stuff. Love that stuff. This match was all about, though, AJ Styles attacking the leg. He was just cutting down the tree that was Gunther, attacking the leg, dragging corkscrews to it, or dragging screws to it. He was doing calf crushers like crazy. He was literally just kicking him. There was one point where he did a springboard 360 flip leg drop onto Gunther's leg. That's how much he was focusing on the leg here tonight. It was absolutely great. Gunther got a little bit of offense here and there. He was chopping him. He chopped him off the top rope at one point, slammed him on the apron. He was doing some good stuff here. But into the match kind of comes, and Gunther just starts disrespecting AJ. Starts smacking him in the face. They get up, battle of the wills, back and forth. AJ hits a calf crusher on the man, but then Gunther like slams his head into the mat to break it up. Well, AJ ends up still getting him into a calf crusher after he reversed a power bomb, right? So Gunther goes for the power bomb, but AJ rolls it into a calf crusher. And they're in the center of the ring. And Gunther, AJ said he was going to make the man tap. Well, Gunther is in the middle of the ring, and the ref is on the far side away from AJ. So AJ's got his back toward the ropes, and then the ref's back's toward the other side of the ropes. Well, you don't see it. Gunther takes his left hand away from the ref and starts tapping basically on AJ's ass, right? He starts tapping out. AJ gets up. I won the thing. And the ref's like, the hell you mean you won? I was watching it. He didn't tap out. And Gunther starts to laugh a little bit. Well, the ref goes over to tell timekeeping, hey, no, we're still doing this thing. The match is still on. AJ walks over, takes a low blow from Mr. Gunther and a power bomb and a 1, 2, freaking 3. Gunther steals a win from AJ Styles. He gets a tap, or he taps out on the far side. Ref can't see it. Low blows AJ, hits him with a powerbomb, gets the pin on AJ Styles. So Gunther does not make AJ Styles tap yet. I'm 50-50 on this. I think I love it in terms of Gunther being a heel character. Like, it fits him really well. I was just a little bit disappointed because, Main event of Raw, Gunther AJ. I was hoping for like more of a solidified end, but it is WWE. It is Monday Night Raw. We end with shenanigans all the time. And more importantly, the match was an absolute banger. These two are perfect for each other in the ring, as we all expected, because it's freaking Gunther and AJ Styles. That's fantastic. AJ was still telling a good story, attacking the leg, but then Gunther outsmarts the man by doing the tap away from the ref. So we're going to run this thing back again. I'm hoping maybe this is even a Rumble match, maybe Saturday Night Main Event, so that they can both be in the Rumble match come Rumble time. But Gunther is just too good, man. On the mic with his made Cena tap out like a little bitch. The disrespect story of AJ wanting to teach him a lesson and respect the guys that came before him. I bought into that story. And now it's just a matter of time before Gunther makes that man tap at some point. That's going to be heartbreaking. Like throughout this match, AJ Styles just gets all the love. Gunther gets all the boos, even in Germany. So Gunther's the perfect heel for AJ Styles. We finally have AJ Styles in a relevant feud at the latter part of his career. He's main eventing Raws. I was a little 50-50 on the tap out fake out here tonight, but man, oh man, this story is great. It's just getting started, and Gunther versus AJ Styles is going to keep cooking, man. It's going to be absolutely great. And I'm going to give it a solid pop to end the night. So only one guy doing it here, and the numbers are a little bit smaller than our normal pops and drops, but it's 8 pops to only 2 drops. I'll stand by it. Obviously, I watched it after the fact, so it was a replay. Didn't have the commercials. I didn't get to see what was ever happening during the commercials when you watch it live, so maybe we got interviews and stuff during that I didn't get to cover. But it was a great show overall. I really thought that this episode was leaps and bounds better than last week. We got a lot of good stories coming out of it, and we're finally starting to shape things like Saturday Night Main Event and even the Royal Rumble. So a lot of good things here to come, and looking forward to a big episode of Raw next week, because that's going to be real good with some big time title matches. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the live stream tonight, youtube.com/CODWrestlePod. Even when I was watching it at a weird time, a lot of you showed up, and I love you guys for it. But for everything else for the podcast, it's at CODWrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. We have a link tree in our bio. It'll take you to all of our social medias. Like, follow, share, subscribe to all of them, because we are confident that you will love the wrestling content. Also, send some prayers, some good wishes for Brandon. He's a little bit under the weather right now. Let's make him feel better, so he can be back on Friday for stream on Friday Night SmackDown. But I'm Will, Cousin of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. We will see you next time.